Welcome everyone to Top Esports versus T1. Spoilers for that match if you haven't seen it yet. I am speechless, which doesn't happen a lot. First of all, I don't regret any of my picks. I think that if I had 100 years to analyze all the footage in League of Legends, I would have made the same prediction that Top Esports was the second best team in this tournament and that Top Esports was more likely to win this game. Now, of course, just because something is more likely to happen doesn't mean it always happens. If you thought that other teams were crashing and burning in quarterfinals, you haven't seen anything until this. You could have replaced Top Esports with any name in the tournament, FlyQuest, Team Liquid. You wouldn't have been able to tell that it was Top Esports playing and not Game Esports from these games. So let's hop into it. T1 playing a very passive style, running from almost every fight, but Top Esports kind of agreeing to this. Top Esports bought a cull in the mid lane and the bot lane, so they were agreeing that we're just not going to fight early, we're going to take it to the late game, and then we're going to fight. Now T1 come and kick them off this Baron, and for some reason that I can't even begin to explain, TES retreat off the Baron into a tiny choke point. They could have retreated here, they could have stayed on the Baron and forced a fight, they could have dove on T1, but they choose the worst option, which is to all retreat into a tiny choke point. Maybe they think that Misfortune and Rumble are going to have better angles in a jungle fight, but it does not happen like that. They get a little bit caught out here by the Bard stun, and instead of saying, you know, abandon mission, this jungle fight is not working, let's back out into the river, they go deeper into the jungle, into this little corner, so you have no mobility, you are cut off on 3 sides, and that's where Top Esports decide to take their one most important fight in the game after 27 minutes of charging, is in this tiny little elbow nook where they can't maneuver at all. Mako dies completely, Jackie Love misses the ult onto everybody, and as I've said many times, if you can't get ult damage off Misfortune, she's one of the worst champs in the game. And so you basically have your AD carry frontlining. The champion that is closest to all 5 T1 champions right now is Jackie Love. Really nice play here from T1. The Camille Hex Tech blows everyone out of the way, which lets the Caitlyn ult come in. So that was a really nice maneuver from T1. But if TES is in a regular front to back, you just can't do that because Camille can't dive onto the backline in the first place. If they were fighting in this river, Camille isn't getting onto Jackie Love so easily in the first place. So just a complete disaster from Top Esports. Mako's already dead, and it's just a numbers advantage from here. T1 can do whatever they want, and they would win this fight. Yeah, they played the fight pretty well, but at this level of numbers advantage, T1 could have done whatever. And then here in the second Baron fight, they don't even try to fight. After they get out of this Bard ult, they don't even try to fight. There's just 2 of them still fighting the Baron. So they're just putting everything on the Baron flip here. And they lose that smite fight to Owner. Like, yes, it's a beautiful ult from Keria, but you can tell Cream is just focused so much on the Baron, they're not planning to turn here. If they were planning to turn, Cream would be able to, instead of focusing on the Baron, for example, dodge out of this Bard ult. Cream has the flash up, but he doesn't intend to fight. He intends to burn down the Baron as much as he can before he gets Bard ulted. So just bad call here from TES. So T1 definitely played well. To win those team fights with such a bad comp, Caitlyn Bard, they would have to play well. But TES had everything they needed, the team comp, to win both of those team fights. So the fact that they managed to lose both of those very winnable team fights, I think just shows how nervous they are in this stage. Just not the same Top Esports we saw earlier in the tournament. You're playing against a team who you know loves to go late and not fight before 25 minutes. And your comp of choice is Viego, early game champ, Ezreal, mid-game champ, Silas kind of mid-game champ. How does any of this have to do with this is a scaling team fight comp to beat T1 in the scaling team fight? Viego just face checking a bush when he knows that all 5 people are there, gets caught out immediately. And then really nice play here from Keria, has the ultimate on, and when Galio tries to ult in, Keria flashes over to cancel the Galio ult, and then this is just a 5v4. Once you're in a 5v4, you don't need to do anything special, it's just math at that point. 26 minutes and there's only 4 kills. Top Esports should have known this could happen because it literally just happened in the last game. And T1 are just chickens this whole game. There's so many fights like this where they just run away, because their comp scales better, and so they're just not going to fight if they don't have to. So it's not bad play from T1 at all. It's just very controlled and very difficult to play against. You can see TES is more than willing to fight. T1 just say no. And so if T1's not going to fight you, you know that the only option you have is to fight them at objectives, and yet you have zero objective control. You have no vision around Baron, no vision in the river at all. And so now when T1 starts the Baron, you just go in blind, get caught out by Faker hiding behind the wall. This Baron fight, Mako is still not in the fight because he got picked a second ago. And so, yes, Keria gets an amazing flash onto Jackie Love, and then Owner flash follow onto Jackie Love. So amazing micro from T1. But again, it's a 5v4. You know, there's a lot of different ways that they could have taken this fight, and it would have still been a win, right? The micro of T1 is not nearly the story of this game. So this game was phenomenal from T1. I don't know if they made almost any mistakes. Yes, Top Esports picked a horrible draft, given that they knew it would very likely be a very late game. But 15-0 here, much better draft from T1, and good play from almost everyone. And so we've seen throughout this tournament, when people are on the edge of defeat, that's often when they play their worst game, and that happens for Top Esports here too. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's resignation, but here Top Esports taking a 4v4 under T1's turret, and Top Esports isn't even at full health. They're all at half health. Why take a 4v4 under T1's turret? They just lose because it's a 4v4 under T1's turret. So this is where you think like maybe even GAM Esports wouldn't make macro plays that bad. And then this pike hook on Jackie Love is just insane. Like even if you're in Bronze League, a hook this long that takes that much time and you have flash up, you can dodge out of. If you had zero ping especially, even our silver players could dodge out of this hook. And Jackie Love just gets snagged by it. In this game, though, you see a few more cracks in T1's play. Cream gets a really good Gnar ultimate here. Jackie Love's getting a lot more damage down. Faker gets baited into killing Jackie Love, but he flashes out. And this is when T1 is 5k gold up. So definitely showing some cracks here. Absolutely beautiful here, charging the pike hook, and when Jackie Love runs in, ooh, zoink, that was a good one by Keria. At this point, Top Esports so ready to go home. This isn't even GAM Esports. You would honestly think this was a Platinum game or an Emerald game. Mako sees this Galio taunt, just walks into it. But T1's still showing a couple of cracks. Faker here, when he tries to E out, he actually ends up putting himself more in the middle of 4 people. So definitely not a perfect fight from Faker. T1 kind of losing this fight, even though they have an 8k gold lead. But an 8k gold lead is an 8k gold lead, and so the next fight, they bring it back. Everything's fine. And I don't even know when the last time I've seen a team underperform below their expected level by that much. It's been a long time. For our tier list, gotta say goodbye to Top Esports. And then T1, I think, played about as they've been playing the entire tournament, which is a step below how Gen G has been playing. But we'll have to see how Gen G performs against FlyQuest tomorrow. If Gen G really throws poorly against FlyQuest, T1 could definitely become the favorite in the tournament. So it just depends what we see out of Gen G tomorrow. I don't think there's anything in T1 that looks really unstoppable. The game 2 looked really, really strong from T1. Games 1 and 3, tons of cracks. Way too much goofiness in the draft. Pyke is not a good champion. Bard is not a very good champion. It's very much a G2 syndrome where the players are so good that you can't really tell that they're playing really bad drafts. I think we'll see that if they try to play bad drafts like that against a BLG or a Gen G, they might start to suffer a lot more. I stand by all the picks I made. I think that all the picks I made were statistically the most likely to happen. I think things that are statistically unlikely happen all the time. That's the nature of the game. You just got to stay the course and keep making the best predictions you can. Please subscribe if you're loving the content. YouTube really cares about that subscriber number. And I will see you in the next game, Gen G versus FlyQuest, to determine the last person in those semifinals. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.